It's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
So what's happening, guys? Show number 185. Renika and I are here. I'm hoping AP will be on the way. This is a very important day because we're giving away some money, $1,000. We're gonna do this 5 weeks in a row, so hopefully it'll be 5 consecutive weeks in a row. And if you're already in, you're in. I guess it's still an opportunity to get in. You see the instructions there on the screen. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you just text the word STIMMY, STIMMY, to the number here, 205-964-5243. Even if you don't win this week and you're not in, then it's an opportunity to get in for next week and the weeks after or whatever. So we're going to give this away to 5 people to this point, $1,000, which is an opportunity to throw some gas or jumpstart your wholesaling business, some of your marketing or whatever. So then you just may need the money. So whatever you do, it's up to you, of course. How's it going, Renika?
It's going good. How about you?
Oh, I'm super tight.
Nice.
So, but what we're here for, we're here to answer your questions about real estate investing with more of an emphasis on wholesaling, which generally doesn't require any cash or credit to actually put deals together and make money. You can start with zero, but it doesn't hurt none to have a few $100s to, again, jumpstart the process. So while Renika tells us who she is, I'll step back here to the laptop.
We're gonna make it do what it do today. But as always, I'm super thankful for being a part of the Flippinar show. My name is Renika Williams. I am the founder of one of the executives here at Capital on Demand, and just a financial advisor as a whole. And my goal is to actually bring in the piece that everyone needs, that I think, we speak a lot about buying and selling properties with absolutely no money, but it comes a time where you actually, buying and selling real estate is a business. So you do need some type of capital to really scale your business to the next level. Is it just a couple $1,000s to get the resources and Bandit signs and deal later and prop screens and things of that nature, resources you need to really be successful as a real estate wholesaler or real estate investor? Or you're ready to take that that business to the next level and start your real estate portfolio or doing fix and flips. So if you are interested in funding your deal, you just go to findmynextdeal.com. If you're interested in any creative financing options, just go to findmynextdeal.com.
So what I'll do is, I forgot we got to ask questions. I should have went to the old setup, and I forgot about we got to ask questions. So we'll get it in. They like looking at you better than they like looking at me.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, I think it's come here for the both of us.
Right. Okay, so let's see here. Jenny says she's ready. Keep it simple. Says they're ready. Who else we got in here? Tony Layman says the STIMMY will change his life. Wow, what's up? Keith Elvis, I watched your video trying to play catch up now. Boom. All right. Let me see here. I have leads, not sure what. Okay, we'll go ahead with this question right here. But keep it simple. I have leads, not sure where to start to relate to the contracts or how to get set in motion. Very new to the group. Okay, so I guess they're saying they don't have an idea about the contracts and how to set things in motion. Well, you've actually started by simply being here, trying to educate yourself. I actually give away the information through my YouTube channel, and that contract, you can get an option to fill it out through if you text the word contract to the number there on the screen or on the board, 205-964-5243. I actually show you how to fill it out for sellers, buyers, and how to get it signed very quickly. So, Renika, I guess on that last part, he said, or how to set things in motion, if you want to elaborate on that part of it.
So I would say, I think you maybe hit half of the battle is you got leads. Leads is money. It's kind of a broad question. It's like, what did I do? How do I set things in motion? There's a lot of things you can do once you get a lead, but most importantly, you want to call them and see, what do they have to offer, what they're selling, and from there, you begin to do your due diligence on the property, determine if it's a good deal or not. If it's a great deal, you begin to put that property on the contract. You begin to market that property to your end buyers, so they'll be able to come in and purchase it from you, and you put your contract in place. So that's kind of a broad type question. There's a lot of little moving parts you must do once you get the lead, but most importantly, call the lead and see if they have a good deal or not.
Okay, boom. I was trying to twist things around here, but we'll make it work. All right, so let's see here. Feels like we have to know everything about wholesaling. Okay, this is a good question right here from Kenneth. He says, I'm the only one who feels like I have to know everything about wholesaling before I take action. I feel like this is mentally holding me back and I should jump in. You want to answer that one first?
I can. So I think that's a normal feeling for anyone who's jumping into a new realm of life. And at some point in time, our thoughts do hold us back. That fear of failing holds us back. And I think I just posted something about this the other day, is that, fear is, fear holds you back. It holds you back from moving forward, it holds you back from success. And also to understand that failure is a part of just moving forward. And because you begin to learn what not to do or what to do, or get your mentor to teach you what not to do. But I think that's a very normal feeling to, want to feel the need to know everything before you jump in. But I would say to you, Kenneth, wholesaling is the most simple thing that you can do. Is finding a property, is putting those properties under contract and finding the end buyer who want to buy it. So I will also say, don't overcomplicate the process. If you want to sit down and get you a one-sheeter and put together a 10-step list. Okay, I found the lead. This is what I do next. This is what I do next. This is what I do. So you know exactly what you need to do as you get to each phase of that process. But don't overthink it and just jump in. I mean, what's worse can you lose? $10, $100 earnest money. So I think we learn more. We don't realize it, but we learn more through experience. I remember when I got a whole degree in real estate and walked right out there and fell in my face. You can have all the education in the world, but experience is really the best teacher.
Boom. Yeah. So most people, like you said, the experience is more valuable than anything that we probably can teach in reality, because you'll know what to do or what not to do. Good news, Adria has made it, so this should simplify this a lot more. Really.
Nice.
Most people feel like it has to be perfect. No, of course, none of us want to make a mistake, obviously. But it doesn't have to be perfect in order for you to make money. That's one of the great things about it. And which a lot of businesses, things do need to really work the right way in order for you to make money. But in this situation, with wholesale, that's one of the pros of it. You're only talking about from investing $0 to $10 earnest money up to 100 or so, and you lose it. That normally doesn't put you out of business. Yeah, that's something you can dust off and try it again. You know what I'm saying? Or get back in there. And it doesn't have to be perfect to make money. That's it. Mistakes. I'm not saying you should seek out mistakes, but mistakes are okay. Teach you not to do it again or whatever. One of the interviews I did with some young ladies out of, I think they're in Maryland, they made a number of mistakes and still made $30,000 on their first deal. So nothing prevents you from doing the exact same thing.
All right, guys, Adria is here in the house. Hey, Rennie, how are you doing?
Hello, Adrian.
I couldn't miss this.
Welcome.
I know I couldn't miss this $1,000 STIMMY giveaway.
I know, right?
I gotta see what's going on. All right, guys.
If you win, scam.
I know. Guys, I know. I really can't win. I'm just saying. Okay, guys. So as usual, you can always text Gator to that number to join us live. That number being 205-964-5243. Or
what?
Flipinar's up.
No, I
okay.
took the
Just text that number and you'll join us live to ask your questions. But I'll go ahead and keep it going. So Tony Lehman. Okay, Tony just says he's going to purchase PropStream. I got you. Anye Bledsoe says, I'm dealing with a seller who doesn't have his deceased mother's property in his name. How do I go about this deal?
Well, how many siblings does he have? Is he the only child? Was he the only child? Not he had a brother and sister that may have passed. If he's the only child, it may be a little more simple than each state is different on the probate process. But normally, if only one heir that has to make a decision, then you can speed up that process in most cases. So you have to figure out how many brothers and sisters did they have. Really it's hard to say beyond that. What do you think?
Right. So it's not in his name. It's probably haven't finished going through probate. Yeah. So it'll eventually be passed down to whatever beneficiaries that are a part of her will or estate. So I will recommend from him, if he's not already dealing with his probate rep of his mother's estate, to reach out to the local county and see who that rep is and begin to go through the process so it can be passed down to his name, if that's what's in his will, if he's a beneficiary and things of that nature. And it will need to kind of go through probate. So I'll start there, and they'll let you know exactly what you need to do to get that passed down or get that passed down to any of the beneficiaries of her estate.
All right, so let's jump over here to Instagram. And Nigel Hall wants to know, if you have a real estate attorney, but the end buyer wants to use her own attorney, what do I choose? We've already sent contracts to my attorney.
It happens.
Yeah, if they, hey, you're not going to let that be a deal breaker for you because, if they want to use their attorney and they're paying the closing costs, so be it, as long as they do what you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's no big deal. That's more common than not or whatever. So, yeah. It's the problem when the seller tries to dictate that.
Right.
That's common practice. When the seller tries to dictate that, then, yeah, you definitely just like, oh, it's this way or no way or whatever.
Right. And that happens. I mean, everybody, most time people do want to use their attorney. Sometimes if I just really need to use my attorney, which I try to control it, I will give them incentive to use my attorney and say, okay, I'll pay for all the closing costs. Yeah. And something like that will incentivize an end buyer that's usually more maybe of a retail buyer or something of that nature to go with your attorney if you're willing to incentivize them by, with paying off their paying their closing costs, paying towards their closing costs and things of that nature. But other than that, you kind of, you don't want to kill the deal because of that. So just rock with it. But most importantly, contact their closing attorney and let them know how you structure the deal so they know what's going on. No one is blindsided by how you structure your deal.
Boom.
All right, there we have it. Thank you for answering that, Bowtie and Rennie. We're going to stick with another question from Instagram. This is from B Waters 10. How do you know when you are looking at A, B, C, or D properties? Is there a specific classification for this?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think most people in a particular market, just from pricing in a lot of cases, you can figure out what's the A part of that market is and what's the D part of that market is. The A is going to be top end as far as pricing alone or whatever. House is consistent. If there's a lot of prices, in the 700s, 800s or whatever, maybe in some cities, the millions, well, that's going to be your A neighborhood, right? Mm-hmm. The D is going to be whatever the bottom pricing is for that market. In Birmingham, that's going to probably be in the 50s, right? Mm-hmm. In Los Angeles, that may be in the 200s, or maybe 300s. You know what I'm saying? So it's relative. So if you know what the A is, and you know what the D is, I can figure out what the B is because that's below the A. I can figure out what the C is because that's above the D. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's where I would do it. What you think?
No, I totally agree. I kind of look at it two ways too. I look at it's something like it's a market and there's a property. So you can have a property in a D in a C market, which could be. And so I look at it like, okay, a neighborhood is a very high end neighborhood or a well kept neighborhood. Great school systems and things of that nature. A D neighborhood is a dilapidated neighborhood, high crime and things of that nature. And then you may have a C property in an A neighborhood, just meaning that it's in a really great neighborhood, great school systems, but it's a rundown property or older property. So you can go in that property and be able to renovate it to get it to a condition of an A property to match the other neighborhoods. So, I kind of look at it both ways from a property standpoint, also from a market standpoint, meaning a D will give you the most dilapidated high crime areas, A, great school systems, very low crime areas, and things of that nature. This is how I kind of look at both of those.
All right. There you have it, guys. How to decipher or categorize your properties into A, B, C, or D. So this is from TikTok, Kenyan Revolutionary, like that. Do you use the max allowable offer, MAO, using 70% formula? If yes, can you explain?
Well, just understand those formulas are just generalizations now. Some markets is more honed in on than others. But for the most part, unless you're in Los Angeles, in that Southern California area or Bay Area or New York City, maybe parts of South Florida or whatever, normally 70% will work in a lot of markets, maybe Phoenix somewhere. But anyway, so, and it's what it represents. Let's explain what it represents. You're trying to get in the mind of the cash buyer, the end buyers, they call it, or whatever. You're trying to see, is it a deal where they can make money? Because that's the only reason they're going to be interested in a property that you have to wholesale for them. So what that 70% where is really 30% discount off the ARV. What that 30% represents is the potential investor's profit and holding costs. That holding cost can be anywhere from, that profit can be anywhere from 20 to 25% or 5 to 10% holding costs. And what are holding costs? Closing costs, utilities, things of that nature, fees or whatever, inspections, stuff like that. So it's just a generalization, more so to prevent you from wasting time on something that has no chance of being a deal, right? That's the way I'd more so. But it's really needed for a newbie because they have no idea what a great real estate deal is. They think if a house is worth $200,000, you can get it for $189. That's an $11,000 spread. There's some money to be made. No. It doesn't work that way in real estate. I'm not going to spend, even if I was all in $189 with closing costs and everything, I'm not going to spend $189,000 to make $11,000. It just doesn't work. Spend $189,000 to make $80,000. You know what I'm saying? So, but not, investors don't think, real estate investors don't think about it that way. So that's what it represents. It's just trying to get you in the mind of the investor, and then you plug in the rest of the numbers to get down to the number where you need to be when you're making your offers or accepting offers from sellers. So you got an explanation for it, or?
No, you're absolutely right. It's, to me, to really maximize your wholesale assignment, you have to approach every deal like as if you was the investor. So to Todd's point, the 70% rule is almost like you purchasing a property. How much would I purchase it for? How much would I rehab it for according to the after repair value? If you know those three answers, you can maximize the assignment fee to the investor, because you ran the numbers as if you were the investor. So the 70% rule is just a guideline, as if you were the investor and to think like an investor. So it helps you to be able to back into your assignment fee and back into your maximum assignment fee. So.
Okay, now I know we just briefly talked about the MAO and the 70% in the calculator, calculating is it a deal or not. Takaya Washington wants to know, can you explain the 0.70 in the ARV equation? I know it gives the discount to buyers, but why does it change depending on the area? And how do you determine what that percentage should be when you need to change it?
Well, like I said, it's only like 4 or 5 places that it really matters that it goes up, because those properties in those markets, appreciation increases faster than most of the rest of the country. That's why investors will spend more. They'll take, I guess you would say, they would take a lesser percentage as far as potential profit, because a lot of times they purchase on future appreciation, because it appreciates a lot faster than anywhere else. That's one of the main reasons. And plus you're a lot of times you're dealing in bigger numbers also. But the appreciation thing in those markets generally goes up faster than the rest of the country as a whole. And that's why, you can, out there, you can probably, and we'll just say using Southern California, you can maybe use 80% or 75% versus the 70% in other places. Now, that's done if you're taking repairs in place. Some people do that percentage at 50%, but they don't take repairs, and they include the repairs in the additional 20% that you're knocking off or whatever. So it's done a number of ways or whatever, but generally, again, understand this is not set in stone. It's a generalization, right? Because sometimes you just won't know until you actually get some properties under contract. All the numbers, you can use these calculators, and you'll say, hey, these investors in this market, they're not paying that in this particular area of that market. So sometimes you won't know until you actually start dealing with enough investors. And if everybody started coming back in the same range, then I need to get them cheaper. Or, I can even go up a little more. They'll pay anything, or you'll feel like they'll pay anything. You'll have that sometimes, that they'll pay more than that 70% after you do your numbers. So sometimes you don't know until you get out there and start putting some properties in front of people. So.
Right. And to add to that as well, sometimes the 70% rule goes out the window if you are buying a rental property.
Yep.
Because rental properties, you're not buying equity like that. Usually you're buying cash flow. So sometimes you'll buy a property at 85% of the value because of the cash flow that you're reaping on a monthly basis. So when you're doing buy and hold, you may not buy the 70% rule. You may buy the 80% rule, instead of the 70% rule. But I think the 70% rule is a great threshold to stand on. In all markets, but markets, as Tom was saying, like California, I see, a lot of times they're just overpaying because they want the land in Hollywood, or they want to be able to own land in Los Angeles. And so they're overpaid for it just because it's this prestige area. So in some areas, they will overpay for that property just because the land is so prestigious. So you'll see that.
Okay. Jumping over to TikTok. Ian wants to know, let's see here. I'm sorry, this is John Jay, actually. What's the name of the free website you use to look up vacant property owners? So did you mention the website earlier?
It'll be the county website. For the most part, it'll be the county where the property is located. A lot of them are not user friendly, so it may take some maneuvering through it to figure out where you access that information. A lot of times it's accessed through wherever the tax information is located for property taxes or whatever. But the county, you pay your taxes, sales tax, income tax, for these services, for the county or state to provide this information. You know, that's what they do or whatever. So again, a lot of times the sites are not user friendly though. So you have to maneuver through them. You may even have to call them and say, hey, how do you find where, you know, the property search information is located? And they'll tell you, so.
Mm.
All right, guys. So leaning to those free resources that your tax dollars pay.
You can also Google, like, you know, the county it sits in. You can Google, like, I'm in Fulton County. I Google Fulton County property search. So you Google the county, add property search with it, whatever county it is, and it's usually it'll pull up, you know, exactly where you need to go at that property, at that tax assessor's website in order to pull that property information.
All right. Now, Ian, I'm sorry, you actually didn't have a question. You just mentioned my first wholesale deal has been really hard finding a buyer. I'm getting close to the end. So how about in the chat box, you tell us what it is that you're doing to find a buyer and what do you have that you're considering a deal? What are your numbers? Because oftentimes it starts off at the very beginning. You just never had a deal to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
See.
Okay,
So
so
let's get funded. I'll say.
let's see here. So JD says, hey, Flip, would you consider partnering with folks who invest in commercial? Also, I'm a CRE agent, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Hit me up.
Y'all, you guys know the number by now, 205-964-5243. Shoot a text there, and Tyler will reach back out to you.
I'll reach out, but we'll get on the phone or whatever. Just but text me on the number first. Just remind me of what you just said.
Okay, so I'm going to answer a question from a, let's see here. Someone in the message boards that says, I'm a felon, was wondering if this is for me.
Yes.
If not, I truly understand, ma'am and sir. First of all, when you're walking around with that broadcast on your forehead, bad credit, you can do this.
Exactly.
No credit,
You don't need a license.
You don't need a
buy and sell
license.
whatever you want to buy and sell with.
Your
whatever
criminal
record you
history
have.
has nothing to do with this.
One of the beautiful things about it.
You're good. Now, let me take that back. Let me tread back a little bit because I would want to be some type of felony. No, you can't, you know, some places you can't go, some people you can't be around. That's fine. But within the realm of, if we're just talking a felony, you're good to go.
Yeah. You're permitted to buy and sell real estate. That's the only thing you need to know. You can buy and sell real estate. You're out, so you're not on the run, I'm assuming. So you're out, you can buy and sell real estate. That's basically what we're doing. We're just in the middle of that transaction or whatever. Oh, it starts out that we're actually buying it, but wait, we changed our mind. We let this guy have it. You know what I'm saying? They call that assignment fee. You change your mind a lot. Oh, I'm gonna let this guy
Change your mind.
I'll change my mind. I'm gonna let this guy have it.
Right.
He paid me. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Absolutely. We don't allow stuff like that to hold us back from our dreams and, you know, building our legacy. So, you know, yeah. And regardless of it, if it was a problem, I'll show you a way how to still maneuver around it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's no different than being virtual. Get you some boots on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Buy you some partners.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so this is from Charles Lee. Hi, Flip Man. I put out 100 Bandit signs 2 weeks ago, and 75% of the signs are still up. I haven't received a call yet.
Okay.
Should I put
200?
out another 100?
Oh, you said 100.
Signs? Right.
Oh, you said a 200 or 100?
100.
Okay.
75% is still up.
Which means 75.
Should I put out another 100?
I'm a math whiz, ain't it?
Absolutely. Dealing with those
75, still up. Okay. What was the list? I'm being silly. Well, what's the question? Other signs are still up. I haven't received a call yet. Should I put another 100 signs out? Yes. Now, I would love to know what your signs say. What
city and state is this? Is the area big enough to support?
Yeah, that's a good question also. If you could give us an idea on that.
Because you put 100 signs in an area where no one buying and selling. You can put up 1,000 signs, and no one may call you either. So it's important for you to put it in, just areas where people are moving and shaking.
Are they in areas where other signs already exist?
I don't know. So Charles, if you heard that, just answer that question and we'll do a follow-up on you. Okay. Let's see here. I don't know what this means. Don Griffin says, how do you package your deals when dispositioning?
Well, he's basically saying, how do you present your deals to buyers?
Oh. Okay. Educate me then. I like the disposition is property to you. Okay.
Now, I hadn't always known what disposition meant. Now, I've only known what disposition meant since I started dealing with my boys, Jamil and Pace, and he's throwing that word around. So I just found out. I said, what does that mean? I said, oh, you're talking about trying to find a buyer for your property.
Just say that.
Hey, don't ever be failed, you know what I'm saying? It's not a dumb question if you don't know the answer.
Right.
Correct.
Period. So
Well,
anyway,
the rule of thumb is the only dumb question is the question not asked.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so he said how you packed it up. Well, and I'm gonna do a video on this, even though I don't do enough of it, because a lot of times I just feel like they're gonna do their own due diligence anyway. But it doesn't hurt. In Deal Later, aka PropStream, you can do a comps report. So you can show them, of course, they still gonna do their own due diligence, but they give them an idea. Okay, I didn't know this, or blah blah blah, or whatever. But ideally, you just tell them, you let them know the address, obviously price. You could throw in the ARV. You can tell them number of beds and baths, house access, your ideal level repairs. Send photos or maybe a YouTube link of a video, and boom, that's more than enough information for them to start to do their own due diligence and make an informed decision on whether they want more information or they actually want to access the property. If you have a lockbox on it, makes it even easier. You send the code over to them, and also, trust me, you don't have to. They'll call you. So if they want it, because they know they're not the only ones out there trying to buy the properties or whatever.
They will call you.
Oh yeah.
They don't call you. That means
Don't call me. I'll call you.
Okay, so
the disposition, I think one of the easiest ways to really move your deals along is take the guesswork out of it. Try to put as much information in that marketing material as possible. Have 20, 30 videos, photos, and have a very intensive video of the property, thorough video of the property. Try to, already know how much repairs it makes you. Even if you $10,000-$15,000 off for repairs, that's repairs. That's what I assume. It doesn't mean that, when you look at it, you may want, I may say 30, you may say 40. At the end of the day, I gave you enough due diligence up front where you can make a decision. So the more information that you're able to put into your marketing material, I just think is easier for people to make a quicker decision. So.
All right, so going back to Charles, who mentioned he put out 100 signs, 75% was up. To answer your question, Ty, his sign says, "We buy houses." His sign should say "We buy houses." He's in Baltimore, and those 100 signs are actually spread out over 4 different counties.
That may be too broad. He said they spread out over 4 different counties.
Yes.
That may be too wide of an area. As a matter of fact, ain't no May in it. 75 signs should only be in like maybe two neighborhoods, basically.
Right.
That's too broad for 75 signs.
Okay. So for the next 100 signs, what should they go?
I would take an area at a time so you can begin to pinpoint and troubleshoot. Okay, which area is really hot? You may have to just order 400 signs or whatever, 50 signs a area, but troubleshoot the area, see which areas is really biting more of your signs than others. And locations. So your locations may be off as well. But Baltimore is a good area, so I don't know why.
Yeah, that you spread too thin with those. If they're in 4 different counties, that's too thin. The advertising work from repetitive viewing of a message in a lot of cases. Like somebody in a particular neighborhood, they go down the street, they make a left, and they sign again.
Right.
And so
Let me
that's
see what
just
it
that.
is. Let me
That's
call
just
it.
their normal travels. Before they get to Chipotle, they didn't seen your sign 3 times. And they only a mile from their house or whatever. Now you don't want to go crazy. I'm just saying it could be like that or whatever, because you position them in some very visual places, visible but invisible places or whatever. And so it's just that repetitive seeing the sign or whatever, and it just kicks in to, hey, yeah, we need to go and say our mama house. Ain't nobody.
Right. The first sign catch you off guard. It's like interesting. I like that. You're absolutely right. The more people see the sign, just the more they end up gravitating towards it. So.
Unless he's in a rural area and that 4 counties allows him to get more eyeballs or whatever, but it sounds like you're going to have to put out a lot more signs to cover an area that vast. 4 counties is a vast area. Yeah, that's very vast.
All right, so
putting that work in though.
Yeah, absolutely.
You put your signs out.
Mm-hmm. Alexandria wants to know, does the title company ever trip if you ask for a pre-closure list? And this is out of Houston. So maybe if you're asking for the list from the title companies or banks versus getting them from the county.
I don't know. If that's a service that they offer, I would just call them offer. Do they offer a list service or whatever? Because normally they have a lot of data available at their fingertips. You can do that through Dealerator, aka PropStream also, but for sure. So yeah, you can reach out to them and see if that's a service that they offer. Or it may not be a service that they offer. They just may be willing to do it just to do some business with you, or the intent of doing some business with you.
Right.
Okay, so Tony wants to know, where could he get access to leads if he's interested in wholesaling commercial properties?
Well, first you got to identify what type of commercial property you're targeting, right? Mm-hmm. You can pull a list of commercial properties. Again, you still got to figure out what you're targeting through, Dealerator, PropStream, or whatever. Now, if you want to get more detailed, but it's more expensive, there's a website called Reonomy, REONOMY.com. Now I pay $350 a month. I think I may be grandfathered in. I don't know I think it's a little more than that now or whatever, but it's so good. Now that's $350 a month. That's a little pricey, but it normally is going to provide their phone numbers also to own it, even if it's in LLCs or whatever. It's going to provide that type of that level of information to you or whatever. So it's a very simple to use site or whatever, but because it provides that type of contact information, email addresses a lot of time, that's some powerful stuff. Just period or whatever. Ma'am?
Is that skip tracing?
No, it just comes with that $350 a month. It just automatically, the way they have it set up, and I hadn't done over 2,000 in a while, but normally you can only pull 2,000 records in a month. So, but that's a lot or whatever. That's a lot or whatever. So, but phone numbers automatically come with it in that 2,000 per month. So.
All right. Let's see here. Why you're one and only. I figured it out. Boy, trying to figure out these hashtags and these screen names. I'm like, huh? Okay. You're one and only. I saw a FSBO for land. Do you follow the same techniques as wholesaling a house?
When you got a buyer and seller in place, yes. If you got a seller in the contract and a buyer ready to go, yeah. But to get to that point is different. Because land just sometimes it's hard to come up with what's the true value of it. You know, once you determine that, now again you can backdoor it and try to get it at a certain price, and you know you market it pretty much the same way you would with houses or whatever. But to answer your question, once you have a seller on the contract and a buyer on the contract, yeah, the process is the same. It's just that in between of figuring out if you have to have a great deal or not or something. And then it may be limited on buyers with land, depending on where it is. You know, that's such a huge part of it. Well, like with any real estate, depends on what it is, but especially with land or whatever, because it can be, I ain't gonna say it can be worthless, but it can almost be worthless, you know what I'm saying? Just depending on where it is. So, because all land has some value, don't get me wrong, I'm just saying that you just may struggle to find someone who wants, you can wholesale it to, you know, so.
All right, so let's go into
Land is hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
I said buying and selling land is hot right now because you know a lot of people are getting into more new construction.
One of the things you can do more so, well, you can do it with houses too, with residential too, but you owner financing works really well with land, right? Because now you don't have to put them out. You know what I'm saying? If you own or finance some land, I don't have to, unless somebody puts a structure or something on it, but I don't have to put you out.
Right.
And I may still have to foreclose on depending on how we went into the deal. But if I own a finance period, just say on a lease option or something, now I don't have to evict you or evict someone. But land, okay, you didn't pay me, okay, I get it back. You know, so that's one of the attractive things about land, that you can set up owner financing and you can wholesale those terms or whatever. So, you know, it has its pluses versus houses. A lot of times if it's not gated or fenced, the door is always open.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about showing it or whatever. The door is always open. So.
All right, so Big Boy, you asked what he just said. It was re-economy. I did put it in the chat box there. Economy, just with for real estate, instead re-economy. Let's see here. What do I say to him? Okay, so Brandy Locke still talking about this land. What do I say to the owner of land to get an opportunity to have it under contract when it's for sale by owner? It would not be the same that you would for a home?
Same thing.
Yeah. Same conversation.
Yeah, same thing.
Unless you want to owner finance, and then you have that owner financing or lease option conversation, which is the same conversation you have if you owner financing a property.
Yep.
Hey, Julio and Portia, we kind of touched on that a little earlier when we were talking about using the tax assessor's office in your county. They were asking, where can you find deceased lists? So that would be an option. And then also utilizing services such as PropStream, aka Dealulator.
A pre-probate lead. That's basically a deceased list, or they hadn't started the probate process. Just text the word probate to the 205-964-5243. I just recently did a video on that also.
All right, Rennie, you ready for this one? This is Facebook user. I'm in the Atlanta market and I'm realizing that it's kind of tougher out here and I want to expand to different markets. How do I go about researching other markets that I don't live in? So is it hard out there for a pimp in Atlanta?
I think it's up everywhere. You know, I think everyone. I mean, real estate is just becoming. It's just becoming that topic. It's becoming that cool topic now. Like everybody want to get into real estate. Everybody wants to do that. So it looks to be saturated. But I would say still jump in. One thing I will say out here in Atlanta, everybody is kind of I wouldn't say it's a shortage of houses, but there's more demand. There are supply right now. So obviously there's a lot of opportunity for us as wholesalers to go and try to find these properties so they can sell them to end buyers to flip them or whatever. There's a lot of demand out here. So, at this point is who is more creative enough to find the properties directly from a homeowners that want to sell those properties so we can wholesale them or move them quickly. But as far as other markets, you can virtual wholesale, you can drive to those other markets. But the key is just like other markets, you got to have some type of boots on the ground routine in these other markets to really successfully wholesale. Because at some point in time, the end buyer has to go to the house, who may be going to meet the seller. So that's an issue if you're not there in that other market. So you can go into any other market, just make sure you have some type of boots on the ground routine in place to help you facilitate the transaction.
I did, but I didn't have the link to top. I put in the thing because I didn't have it. All right, so thank you, Renikia. I hope you got that.
You know how to get it? The link?
No. No. I forgot.
Just select invite, and then it's gonna pull up. Then you hit copy.
Oh.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say shorten link and copy.
You can go in areas in Atlanta that no one is really going into. I mean, I think a lot of wholesalers, everybody want to be in the Western area, the hottest areas, but people live in Marietta, people live in Kennesaw, people live in Douglasville, people live in Conyers, people live in Gwinnett, people live in Stockbridge. You know, sometimes you got to move to other areas. I mean, everything is way bigger than what's inside of 285. A lot of people don't even want to live inside of 285. So there's still a lot of opportunities on the outskirts that a lot of us is not even tapping into. So.
Okay, let's go ahead and tackle this next question. Y'all are asking a lot of the same things. Over and over, we've already answered that. Already answered about these lists, but I appreciate it that y'all are trying to get things done, because everybody's asking, how do I get a list? How do I get this kind of list? How do I get this kind of list? Same answer for all of them. Same answer. But Rosa Guevara says, hello, sir. How do you do direct mail? How do you do direct mail? So maybe say for those, what do you mean by direct mail?
Well,
wholesaling?
direct mail is basically sending someone a letter saying, hey, I want to buy your house. Different levels of that. Now, if you're driving for dollars, you can't get them on the phone, can't text message, they're not responding. The next layer may be sending them something in the mail saying that you're interested in buying a house with your contact information. All right, that's like just spot niche type stuff. If you're trying to do mass mailings, like a couple of thousand, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 or whatever, then you can do it yourself or whatever. But I recommend dealing with some professionals, and that's basically all they do. They deal with investors all over the country. They're experts. If you text me, send me the direct mail contact or whatever, you know, I'll send you over the guys that I use when we do it, which is, we don't do enough of it, but you know, that's who I use. That takes the headache out of it for us. But again, it just depends on the level. If you're only doing 30, 40, maybe even 100, that stuff you could pretty much do yourself or whatever, in my opinion. So, and then when you're doing small numbers like that, there's so many different ways you can send mail. One of the ways that we send it, on the few that we send on stuff that we drive for dollars or whatever, we'll send it priority mail. Now, it's a little more expensive, but it increases your chances of it getting read and not just thrown in the trash. It's $8 right here through the U.S. Postal Service. You don't have to get this extreme, I'm just saying. So, there's just so many ways to do that. You know, some people send postcards, they do the yellow letters or whatever. But when you get into mass mailings of thousands, then that's a different ball game. I think you can. There's a more efficient way of doing it. So.
Okay. So asking your opinion, you guys, on a concept is Thomas. He's starting or creating a crypto flipping community of crypto investors and sellers in real estate. What's your opinion on that concept?
Well, I actually sort of looked into that or whatever and seen to see if there was anyone buying or selling real estate using crypto. And I did find one particular cat. He was trying to do that or whatever. Yeah, I would be open to hearing more about that. I've tried to get a couple of guys to interview them about crypto, and you know, I was ready. You know, they appeared that they were ready and stuff, and said they were going to do it, and it just never came through. So, you know, if you're versed in it or whatever, definitely if you've been in it for a minute, you know, I would love to get you on the channel, and let's chop it up. Well, have you heard anything, or what you think about that, Renika?
I think it's the future. I think everybody has to catch up with it. So I think it's going to boil down to the individuals of the transaction, because if I don't have a true crypto portfolio, whatever, I don't understand that lane. And a lot of these people may be older, and things of that nature. And a lot of them is just not in that crypto space. So if the seller or the buyer is not in that space, I think it's harder to buy and sell it with crypto. So I think it's just one of those things where it's going to be an education piece, and all the people a part of the transaction will have to be okay with receiving crypto and things of that nature, which I think eventually we're going to get to that. Starting community right now is definitely ahead of the game. I think it's going to be a learning curve for every party that are part of the transaction who may not be in the crypto space to be able to receive crypto for their transaction. So it's basically.
Yeah. Just hit me up, man. We can see what we're talking about.
All right. Good. So 8-Man Dams wanted to know, were you going to still update them on the new rules in regards to texting?
Oh yeah. I got the video in the can. I just need to edit it and upload it. I already, I got my guy Evo from Batch Leads, and we had a great conversation about it. I just need to edit it and upload it. That's it. I'll try to do that. Maybe try to do that on Monday. By Monday. Don't hold me to that, but that's the
So
case.
there's a new text rule?
Well, yeah. Basically, it's the carriers. It's not like so the law's already in place as far as on the federal level. It's like I think it's AT&T and T-Mobile on the same page. Verizon is doing their own thing. But in a nutshell, if you're under 15,000 texts per month, you're good. Mm-hmm. And most people, and from there, and they deal with a lot of customers, most people only do about 3,500 a month. So most people out there doing texts already are well below that number. Mm-hmm. They really, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's why people say, you got a text template, and he and I sort of discussed that. You just can't. Initially, when they started out, they were giving out, but everybody's saying the same thing. So that makes it easier for the carriers to start blocking stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because people are sending basically the same messages or whatever. You just got to get creative to get them to respond to the first message. You might send them something. Did I spell cow correctly? Hey, Jim, did I spell cow correct? I'm just joking.
Right. They're like, what?
but anyway, I'm saying I'm like joking for real right here. But you just gotta just get them to respond, like, hey, is 44th, you might just say, hey, is I don't know, 44th Street still available? I don't know. You just got to get them to respond. It don't even have to be about the house that you're really reaching out to them. You got to get them to respond, so that somewhat takes you out of the spam realm, and then you can get into what you want or whatever. But he sort of breaks down. We talked about 30 minutes, so he breaks it down. So I'll upload it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So K-Tex has a good deal here. I just paid someone $1,500 for a lease contract to a house for $20,000 worth $200,000. Does that sound good?
Wow.
What now?
$1,500 for a lease contract to a house for $20,000 worth $200,000.
Wow.
I don't understand what you're saying. Say it again.
Just paid someone $1,500.
Yeah, he did an owner financing at $1,500. The house, I guess he's purchasing it for $20,000, but it's worth $200,000.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, K-Tex, go back and explain it out for us.
You understand what he said, Renee?
Yeah. He got a lease option on the property for $1,500 to get into a property, but he owed them $20,000 on the property. But he was able to get into the lease option for only $1,500. That's worth $200,000.
But what is his monthly payment going to be to them?
Oh, he didn't say that.
Yeah.
Didn't say that.
I guess that's why I got confused at like,
Or what? I mean, what are you gonna do with it?
yeah, what's your end game? What's your exit strategy?
What's
Or
your-
how
what's your
are you
next-
going to generate money from? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Oh, hold up. K-Tex. K-Tex said the person said it was a sub two. What person?
What person?
Are you in control of this deal? Like you put this together, or did someone put it together and bring it to you?
Who
Right.
this woman?
Huh?
I said, who this woman?
Who? Yeah.
Right.
The person said.
Because then you're right, the number is kind of weird a little bit.
Am I being wrong?
1,500.
Huh. Okay. Okay. Rent it out to a single family. That's the end game. That's what he said.
I guess we would have to fix it up. Look, it's probably what not moving ready right now, since they're only selling for 20. So I'm assuming they gotta fix it. Oh. Not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if y'all can see me. But, let's go wait this thing out. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Okay, we're back.
Clicking the wrong things.
They still see me while
Yeah, I'm like, hold on, what's going on? Messing up my process? Yeah, you were like, goodness. All right. So I'm gonna let Ty handle. Yeah, Ty dropped off. Oh, okay. K-Tech said the end game is rented out to a single family. The person brought it to him. It's a sub 2 division. I'm just piecing together what he's saying now, because that's why I'm confused too. Well, why did you give him $1,500?
Right.
Hey, Tex, we need to talk about this deal that somebody done brought to you.
Hey, don't do that, man.
Like,
No.
What you got going on, K-Tex? Let us know.
Right, but you owe him 20,000.
Right, because that seems like too good. So 20K at $1,500, you don't have to pay him 13 payments. You got to pay it off within a year.
And they probably need
He said, what's the monthly payment? He still ain't said that.
He still didn't say, hey, K-Tex, what's the monthly payments as well?
And how much are the repairs?
Yeah, and how much are the repairs?
And how much do they owe?
Okay, so let me read it again. I just paid someone $1,500 down payment for a lease contract to a 20,000 sub 2 single family home worth 200,000. Sounds too good to be true.
But
so
what
I
do
jumped
they owe?
right into it. What should I do first?
But what do they owe?
Ooh, we should put this in
And what's the monthly payment?
calculator first.
What's the monthly payment to him? I mean, to the
$1,500.
a month?
Yeah.
That ain't what he said.
$1,500 a month?
That ain't what he said.
He
said
just
put 50.
responded $1,500.
Oh, it's $1,500
I
a
guess that's
month.
right.
So what can you lease or rent the property out for?
Right.
What's the market rent for that area?
Oh, wow.
Is it dilapidated? Do it need full repairs?
Is it in good condition? You know,
It better be moving ready.
how much does he owe?
15. Okay. Whew. K-Tex, I appreciate you. You're a super trooper. He responded. $1,500 monthly. K-Tex, answer this question. What is the condition of the home? Is it move-in ready? Does it have a tenant in it? If it needs repairs, how much repairs does it need? And who is this person that you keep saying brought you the deal? What do they factor in? Do they own the home, or are they another wholesaler who's subbing a sub to you?
Right. Get that, because that paperwork can be a real
$1,500 a month for something that's $20,000. That's a lot.
And obviously, it got to be repaired.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I'm
Text
still
while we're
lost.
waiting on you. Alpha God says, I understand the concept and process, but I feel like I'm all over the place. How do I get some order and structure? I'm all over the place all the time too. So you're right with me.
I would advise you to pick a marketing lane. How are you going to generate daily leads? Or you could go out and build your cash buyers list and feed that list through other wholesalers' properties. You can do both of them at the same time, actually. But so it boils down to lead generation in some form or fashion. So whether you're choosing bandit signs, direct mail, cold calling, driving for dollars, text messaging, you need to choose a lane that you're going to generate daily leads. That's the direction I can give you. Sounds like you might understand the process. Now you got to choose a way. How am I going to find deals? You got to choose a lane.
All right.
And you may have the resources to choose multiple lanes at the same time. So,
okay. $1,500 monthly is move-in ready, and the person that brought it to him is a realtor.
No way.
So a realtor gave up a $20,000 property that's worth $200,000.
Who's selling a property that's move-in ready that's worth $200,000 for $20,000? And just
I think what he's saying is it was really a $20,000 down payment, and they're breaking it up into.
That gotta be what he's saying.
Yeah, that's got to be what he's saying.
I don't see anyone leaving $180,000 of equity on their move-in ready.
No. Yeah. Again, how are you going to make money?
Exactly.
You still. Are you going to be able to rent it for $2,500 or $2,200?
Right. At least the option piece must be $20,000.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Okay, you've been thugging it out with this, and you know what today is. Wait a minute.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to ask them to give us a moment.
Yeah, you're going to give us a moment. Renika, you can go into your services while we do our thing here.
Okay. So as always, super excited to be a part of the Flippinar show. My focus is to bring the financing to the table, because at some point in time, to really scale up, you need some type of OPM, other people's money. And as we know, the wealth man game is OPM, is other people's money. So if you are interested in buying and selling or fixing, flipping, new construction, commercial loans and things of that nature, we have a ton of great loan options that do not require tax returns, income verification, pay stubs, bank statements that allow you to walk right into your deal. We'll give you the money up to 90% purchase, 100% rehab. We also have true 30-year notes, just like if you went into the bank and got a mortgage, if you want to buy and hold your rental properties and things of that nature. But if you're interested in any of our funding options, just go to findmynextdeal.com, and we'll be able to get you started there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, give us a moment, guys. We're trying to what we're attempting to do. Person we're choosing has been chosen through this audited process. This audited process, we really would love for them to be able to come on the actual live, and we'll break the news to them. So we have to reach out to them to do that. But in the meantime, we'll still answer questions or whatever.
Well, how do they get on the list? I'm assuming this is every week for the next 5 weeks. So how do people get on the list?
Oh, they just text the word STIMMY to the phone number. It automatically puts them in that community.
Oh, well, hey, I think everybody should have tested the word STIMMY.
Hey, ain't nothing better than free money.
Ain't nothing better than free money.
Hey, except more free money.
Right, exactly.
Hey, that's it. So,
all right. Got these.
Okay, but anyway, so see if you got a question on Instagram or something like that.
I do. Mike Parks said, get out the way. He needs to see the whole whiteboard.
All right. Here we go.
Hey, I'm just doing this.
He really didn't say that. He just said, "Can I see the whole whiteboard, please?" If you're not familiar with it, you normally see it a little bit more, and he's using his pointer for it during the day, during the midday Q&A that he does. So just make sure you join and listen to that during the day. Renikia, this is for you from El Janai. Is it possible to use hard money lender to buy a land and build on it with their funding? Another question about hard money lending is someone said, I heard it's hard to pay back a hard money lender. Is this true? So I guess just bust up some myths and maybe some what you can and what you can't do when dealing with a hard money lender.
Right. So a person that wants to purchase land and build a dwelling on it, that's just called new construction. So what we'll do is be able to give you the money to purchase the land and to go vertical. So absolutely that can be done with a private loan. I don't really like the word hard money lender because hard money lender has such a stigma on it, where it makes people shy away from the exact thing that we need to grow. And what I mean by that is hard money is not what people really think hard money is. It's really soft money that is private money, because at some point in time, the traditional banks is going to cap you at your financials, going to cap you at your DTI. So private lending is the bridge. If you don't understand, if you take away private money, or what you all call hard money, you take away your opportunity to scale up. Why? Because the bank's only going to give you as much as your financials will allow. The bank's going to cap you at your debt to income. So there's only so much. And plus, the banks are not interested in helping you build your real estate portfolio. The banks are more interested in helping you buy that 1 or 2 properties that you call home, not properties that you call an investment. So if you understand that it's only one route, and multiple routes, but there's only one real route outside of traditional banking, it's private money. So private money is the solution. And I like to call it private money because it's not what people think it is. It's not hard. It's really the solution. And private money is not hard to pay back. It's all in the numbers. It's in the numbers. So if I give you the 90% to purchase, I give you 100% of your rehab, you go out there and rehab your property, you flip it to an end buyer, the loan is paid off from the end buyer that you flipped it to. So if you do everything right, if a lender give you 12 months to rehab that property, you have 12 months to rehab that property. You don't complete it, then you're always able to refinance it for another 3 to 6 months until you finish that property so you can sell it. Honestly, private money pays for itself. It's only hard to pay off when you don't do what you're supposed to do, like finish the job, or over budget and can't finish your job, or or whatever the case may be, and run out of the money where you can't finish your job. So you only lose when you don't finish the job. But if you finish the job in a market like today's market, which is a seller's market, the market is a seller's market. So a lot of these properties are moving as soon as you put it on the market, because there's a lot of demand for houses out there and there's not a lot of supply. So what I would suggest is anything you know about hard money, throw it in the trash. It is the solution to real estate investing. It is the solution to fix and flip. It is the solution to real estate development. It is the solution to anyone that cannot qualify for the bank. It is the solution. So
OPM.
All right, there you have it. Well, that was an excellent explanation. Go ahead, because you ain't gonna let me talk.
I said other people's money. That's all I'm saying. Go.
Okay.
What?
Hold on.
Is she in the room?
She's not. Not yet.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
See if go to the thing and refresh. See if she responded back.
Okay. Okay. So let's see here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and take this question right here, Rennie. Our Goods says, I know of a few cities where there are multiple houses on the block, vacant and needing work. Will having multiple vacancies on one block in a rough neighborhood hurt the chances of getting investors? Second question is, someone wanted to buy such homes in rough neighborhoods and then resell them to bring up the value of the home. Can you also explain like what that's actually called and what they're doing in those neighborhoods? So first question, multiple houses on the block that are vacant, boarded up. How hard is it going to be for you to find an investor, aka a buyer, for the home that you have on that block as well?
That's a really good question. I think every dilapidated areas go through this. You know, who's going to be the trendsetter? Who's going to be the first person on the block to come in and buy the dilapidated property next to all the crack properties or whatever? You know, who's going to come in and buy that first property? Somebody got to come in and be a trendsetter. So if the value is there, somebody's going to eventually come in and be that trendsetter. And sometimes it's easier for a real real estate investor to come in. If there's multiple dilapidated, boarded up properties, go in and buy 2 or 3 of them so you create your own comp. And what I mean by that is, if I go on that dilapidated street where there's a lot of boarded up houses and crack houses and things of that nature, I may go in and buy 2 to 3 of them. So I begin to create my own comp in that scenario. So you buy 2 or 3 of them so you can increase the value of that street or that neighborhood and create your own comp, so people will be willing to come in, because it's not only one trendsetter, which is the investor that come in and buy. There is a trendsetter, which is the retail buyer, who's going to come in and buy this nice property on this dilapidated street. So there's 2 trendsetters that have to come in on these dilapidated streets. But I think every hood goes through this. If the value is there, eventually it's going to be bought up. I think we all went through that, especially in Atlanta, like back in 2009, 2010. It was giving away houses in the West End. You know, you're talking about $2,000, $3,000, but no one wanted to buy them. But just think about it. You know, if we really understood what was going on back in 2009, 2010, we would have bought all of that, because eventually those areas going to come up. Somebody eventually going to come buy them because of the value of that area. So.
Yeah, so basically blind the block. But what I was going to mention is, when someone said buying homes in those areas and reselling them for more to up the value, what I immediately comes to mind for me is gentrification. You're going into these, you know, D areas, and you're creating houses that the people that live in the areas can no longer live in. And then they move out, then you move in, and then, you know, you create this whole little, not necessarily bubble, that just the cycle that starts over for every neighborhood that you do this in. So just be mindful, like if you're purchasing the home, what's your end game on it? What would you like? And I guess that's only if you're invested in that neighborhood. Like if this is your neighborhood, how maybe you can kind of ask what the end game is for the buyer. That is, if you're not just money hungry, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe saying like, hey, what do you plan on doing with these? I plan on buying the whole block and tearing them down and putting in student housing. Well, the people that are here aren't going to be able to live there anymore. So I don't know.
And that's a great point that you name. And I want us to understand gentrification is inevitable. You know, if the neighborhood wasn't gentrified, we would still be living in the 1930s. So gentrification is inevitable. Is who gentrify it is the issue. So if we as a people within the community gentrify our own neighborhoods, we reap the benefit of the upside of the equity. But if we as the people within our community that are selling it to people that do not look like us, we're not reaping the benefits and the upside of the equity. We have to understand that there's gold in the hood. There's a lot of equity and upside in the hood. And somebody's going to tap into it, because gentrification is inevitable. It's impossible for us to stay the same 100 years over. So someone is going to come in and gentrify those. We just want to be the ones to take advantage of our own equity in our own neighborhoods.
All right, there you have it. Thank you for touching bases on that, Renika. Guess what?
It's time.
Guess what? It's time. All right,
let's go.
All right.
I feel like Bob Barker.
Oh,
some of y'all don't know who that is.
Okay, guys.
Hey, Google it.
If you are not aware, this week was the first week. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes.
You just want a brand new car.
Wow. It is a new vehicle. It could be.
Wow.
My God. Ty, this is the first week. He started last week telling you guys by texting the word STIMMY to 205-964-5243. You will be entered into the opportunity to win $1,000. This is a $5,000 total giveaway broken down into 1,000 weekly prizes for the next 5 weeks. Today is the first one. A lot of you guys have been sending in STIMMY. A lot of you guys can't spell STIMMY.
Does that still work if I spell
All
STIMMY
y'all
wrong?
guys send the STIMMY to the wrong place.
You send it to the wrong place, you send the whole backstory, like it's STIMMY. So we greatly appreciate all you listeners getting in on that. This $1,000 could very well set you on a new path for your wholesaling journey. You do what you want to do with it. We ain't dictating what you do with it. Go buy you some new J's and go on a vacation, staycation, or go buy you some Bandit signs and sign up for Deal Later. It's up to you. But I'm sorry, guys. I was late today and I've been a little not focused because I've been sitting here trying to go through all the thousands of entries.
It ain't that many, but go ahead. It ain't hundreds. It ain't thousands.
It is thousands. To go through. We did generate and pick the winner. We
for this week.
For this week. If you
so it's just a random pick.
Yeah, absolutely random pick. What the reason it took so long, we did reach out to her to try to see if she could join us, and we've been waiting on her to respond. If you did not win this week, you have the opportunity to win next week.
Made half the people leave out when you said her. I mean, it's a female.
I did, but
don't get the woman on. Let's go.
It could be old lady. Hush. I'm like, all right, the winner is Adrian. That is Adrian Per P. I'm not gonna say your last name. You balling now. I don't want nobody coming after you for this money.
Hey, look like you're outside. Wait, where are you at? Where are you located?
I'm outside of Walmart in Augusta, Georgia.
Hey, oh boy, wow. Hey, you're welcome. That's what's up.
Love it.
Hey, so what did you do when you saw that text? I said, what did you do when you saw the text?
I was like, no way, but I'm gonna answer anyway. And I just because like this is the first time ever in life that I've ever won anything, and it's like, praise God, because I really do need it right now, and I can use it for multiple things. I've been following your page, learning a whole lot. So I'm just trying to, get over the fear, like we were talking about earlier, and just like go ahead and put that first foot forward, step out on faith, and all that. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
No doubt. I'm glad you participated. This is real as it get. My girls at Walmart in Augusta. That's what's up. Hey, so we'll get with you on how you want to receive your money or whatever. But we really appreciate that you participated. You're the first winner of this week's STIMMY or whatever. So people know it's real. Hey, you follow the instructions. Now you'll get your bread. Not tomorrow, and I might get it to you tonight. If I get your information, you can go back into Walmart and do what you need.
Whatever it is in Walmart that you picked up and put down, go back in there and get it. Go get it. And if you got any babies with you, tell them they can go get some too.
Yeah.
Anything you want to share before we get out of here?
Not really. Look, it's a truck. 1 second. It's a loud truck.
That's cool.
No, not really. I'm kind of nervous,
All right.
The first time, but I really appreciate y'all. I'm really thankful that I did come across your page. It's been a long time since I came across your page, and I've been watching, thinking, interested. I might be slow at it, but I'm gonna get my foot in there. I'm gonna get started. Thank you.
Hey, that's what's up. Well, we're gonna reach back out to you, get your how you want to receive your payment, and hey, you're a winner. So share this, like it, get someone else you know to join in. Your crew may win again or whatever. But anyway, so we really appreciate it, Adrian, and again, we'll reach back out to you to get how you want to receive your money.
Okay, thank you. Bless y'all.
Congratulations.
All right, be safe.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
All right.
Adrian wants some money. Adrian wants some money.
Hey.
Adrian wants some money.
Stimmy, Cocoa Pop.
Hey.
All right, guys. So that's the first winner, Adrian out of Augusta, Georgia. She was at Walmart, getting her bread. You know, hopefully I'll try to get it to her tonight, no later than tomorrow, whatever. And depending on how she receives it, she got the normal cash app stuff like that. I can get to it tonight. Hey, so that's the first week. 4 more to go. If you're already in, you're in. You don't have to resubmit. You're already in or whatever. So, but again, get other people to join in and you all split that money. What's half a zero or whatever? I'd rather split $500 than half a zero or whatever. So again, or you may get 4 people in. I'd rather split $250 than half a zero. So anyway, so again, guys, we really appreciate we're going a little longer than normal, but you know why or whatever. Renika, you want to share anything before we get out of here tonight?
No, I think it's been a great live.
Like boom. So guys, we'll see you next week. We had the first winner of that $1,000 STIMMY, so you can do the same. Remember, make sure you like this, share it. Should be on tomorrow afternoon as normal on the daily live or whatever, answering questions. Remember, you could text the number here for any of these services that you want: contract, partner, cash buyers list, CRM, the STIMMY, the closing detail sheet, text messaging, vacant properties, who owns that property, join my Facebook group, probate list, I think script, you can text that also. So again, this has been a real one. We'll see you guys on the flip side.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-52439. Yep. 205-964-52439. You know.
All right, really, baby. Thank you.
Thank you all.